Hello, welcome to When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, wearing clothes, wearing a shirt. Anyway, um, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh so I was asked, how come I don't talk about what's going on with NewJeans, but I'll start a video off saying I'm wearing a NewJeans shirt, but talk about like Kiss of Life or whatever. Anyway, it's because I've already done like 3 videos about NewJeans, and I said in the first video that it's over. Like they were in court again, and you know what's going on, so I don't have to recap it. But back in September, when they did the emergency live stream, I said it's over because everything K-pop idols do, it's approved by the company first. And I know some of you maybe can't grasp that, like even their Instagram posts, even though it might be their personal Instagram, the company, like, so, I don't know the company, but like the manager, someone in charge approves of this stuff, and it's very seldom that an idol has free reign of their social media, but they will let you know if they do, though. Like, it's like, which idols do have control of their social media, and because like for some reason they just make it known, so like we know that, okay? But for the most part, everything is very controlled, very contrived. Even a lot of the controversies are fake. Like, they'll make a controversy just to get in the news, or you can even have another company, and we've known that to happen in K-pop, where another company will purposely start a hate train on another company's group or idols or whatever, because once again, it's all about money, it's all about market share. But when you have a group like NewJeans that uses their feelings and says, we don't trust the company, we don't feel safe, blah blah blah, all this gaslighting, feelings don't trump contracts, a legal agreement. So when NewJeans did that first live stream in September, and then all the other press conferences and whatever, and you started to see how they really are, because they weren't under the guise of the company, because they have to act a certain way when they're being quote unquote controlled by the company, because there's a certain image you have to portray, because this image in the long run makes more money. So let's pretend every idol just did what they wanted. Now, this isn't American culture, so this is Korean culture, so things are slightly different. So if you just do whatever you want, you're going to lose a lot of fans, because there's a certain expectations you have when you're an idol. Korean idol, I mean, it's different if you're a Japanese idol, different if you're a Thai idol. But when they did that, they showed that they don't care about the company, and they show that they are bigger than the company. No one is bigger than the company. No one's bigger than their sports team. No one's bigger than their job. It's Hybe, Adore. They will exist after NewJeans. They existed before NewJeans. If NewJeans disappeared off the face of the planet, or if NewJeans never existed, Hybe, Adore, whatever, would still exist. What is called Hybe? Hybe would still exist. So when NewJeans decides to do a surprise press conference, that right there, me and a lot of other people thought, okay, they have to put them like on hiatus for the rest of their contract. I said that, a lot of people said that. And then I said that in the first video I made. And basically I said, you won't have any new music from NewJeans. And I was right. You had, not official new music. You had music they did on their own at that concert, and it sucked. And then when they were on their own, You saw them on the red carpet. That sucked. It's like all their outfits were horrible because they styled themselves. It just looked really tacky, really bad. And like now you know why they have a stylist, because you know everyone looks better in certain types of clothes, certain types of shoes, blah 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 blah. And so NewJeans obviously doesn't know what they look good in. Like there's a reason why everything is controlled, because image is everything in K-pop. How you like your attitude is everything in K-pop. So after those three videos, I'm like, well, NewJeans is over, and so now they're gonna be stuck in court. They're gonna be stuck in court for maybe 2 or 3 years. So do you think while NewJeans is in court fighting Hybe, do you think Hybe is gonna like have them put out an album? No, no, they're not. So I'm like, they're over. Like you, like maybe when the contract is expired. So isn't that 5 years from now, right? Okay, so it might be four. Either way, 5 years from now. Okay, so New Jeans has been on hiatus, quote unquote, for 5 years. Are you gonna like them after that? Because they're gonna be. Because first of all, are they gonna still stick together after 5 years? Because they won't. They aren't gonna put out anything for 5 years. Basically, I'm sorry, for 3 years because of this trial. It's supposed to take between 2 or 3 years. Those are what the political lawyers are saying, the quote unquote experts. Okay, so why would Hybe, who is fighting a group on their label, why would they at the same time they're in a legal battle with them put out new music with them? That makes no sense. And then they're definitely not going to do anything on their own, because the judgment the other day was if they put out, if they do any other promotions, they're going to get fined. I think the equivalent of $76,000 each time they do it. So, they're all millionaires, but you don't have that kind of money to waste. So basically what I'm saying is you won't be hearing from New Jeans for at least minimum 2 years. Okay. And then they said 2 to 3 years. So, okay. So you definitely won't hear from them, from there. The chance of them winning the lawsuit is highly unlikely, because once again, this isn't New Jeans versus Hybe. This is the K-pop industry versus the artist. Okay? Because if New Jeans is allowed to just break their contract because of feelings, just because you don't feel safe at your job, and once again, their job is being a pop star, an idol. There's as far as I know, and as far as everyone else knows, there was no danger at their job. The only thing that happened at their job is they fired Min Hee Jin. That's it. So they haven't shown anything else. Like they're not being locked in their room and whipped, or I don't know. Like they're everything right now is based on emotion. Anyway, emotions can't trump this contract. So it's basically the K-pop industry versus idols and contracts. So if New Jeans wins, that means contracts are going to be null and void, which means name any group. So let's just use BTS. So if BTS says, I just don't feel safe at this job anymore, I'm going to break this contract. Okay, that will crumble the industry, because every single person under a contract, which is every idol, can just break their contract, which means contracts mean nothing now. So why would anyone want to invest in a K-pop idol? It would literally destroy the industry, because you would have no financial backing at all, like none. Who's going to invest in something that has no stability? I can't talk. Has no stability. See, like people are missing the big picture. Like it's not about you being a bunny and supporting New Jeans. because that's based on feelings too. It's like you have to look at what is the big picture. The big picture is in court cases, a lot of court cases, they will refer to a past court decision, and that will help them boost their case. So now imagine NewJeans wins their case, and because they feel unsafe, the contract is now ripped up, null and void. So now you have all these investors are screwed over. The stock is going to drop on Hive, okay? But now there's another group in a different level, like Baby Monster signed to YG. Baby Monster does not feel safe at their job. They file a lawsuit. It just gets ripped up. It's in, and they can refer back to the NewJeans case because a precedent has been set that like feelings matter and they trump legal documents. Basically, Korea, if they do with Korea, if the Korean music industry does this, they're gonna like end up like it is in America, where like prenuptial agreements don't matter because a woman can go, well, I felt pressured at the time, and they go, okay, it's ripped up, null and void. And the reason why prenuptial agreements don't mean a thing in America is because the first time when someone said I just didn't feel safe or whatever when I signed this contract, the next lawyer can refer to the previous case and go, well, in this case, she felt blah 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 scared, and so they canceled the contract, and then it keeps building up. So now in America, prenuptial agreements don't mean anything. So it's pointless to even sign one, which is why marriage rates have dropped in America. But that's a whole nother video. But anyway, the whole problem is this NewJeans is all about contracts over feelings. And so I said in the first video back in September when we analyzed the news conference that this is the end of NewJeans because Hybe cannot reward them with anything. So let's just say Hybe win. I'm assuming Hybe's going to win because, legal contract. Do you think Hybe is going to drop a new album with them? No. Hybe is going to set an example out of NewJeans, and they will be on hiatus for the rest of their contract. There are musicians right now in the K-pop industry who, they signed that 7-year contract, and the label dropped them like within the first few months. And I forgot this one particular guy's name, but he was a drummer in a K-pop band, and they dropped him like the first month, whatever. But because he's still under contract, he can't use social media. He can't, he can't do anything that would promote him. So he can't make public appearances as I forgot his name, but can't make public appearances. Can't use social media. He can't join another group. He basically cannot promote until his contract's over. They set an example out of him. Now they could have just ripped up the contract and just let him go, but they didn't because they have to set an example. Like if you break company rules, we're not just because think about it. If Hybe just ripped up the contract and go, you know what, get out of here, NewJeans. That means every K-pop group is going to be like, hey, why don't we just mess up on purpose or do something wrong on purpose so they'll break the contract. So once again, like this is very important. You can't set a precedent where like just chaos reigns because once again, it's all about money. The less structure there is to the K-pop industry, the less money it's gonna make. The less everything. Without a strong foundation, everything crumbles. I know it's a cliche, but this is what's going on. This is the foundation of K-pop. The contract. I mean, literally, the contract you sign is the most important thing in this industry. If that doesn't have any validity, then what's the point of having a K-pop industry? Because no one's going to invest money in this. Why would you even start a record label if you can't, have an artist that's going to stay, and just, I'm tired. I'm leaving. No, like I don't think people understand how much money is invest. And I know you're not supposed to be more important if you're a billionaire or if you work at McDonald's, but there's a problem when there's $1 billion being invested in a company and then millionaires investing in these idols. There's a lot of jobs that revolve around this. A lot of people are like a lot of regular people are employed because of this. So I mean, it's like an ecosystem. So like you're not just affecting the higher ups, you're affecting a lot of people who are just making enough money to get by, or the people just making enough to live comfortably. Like I don't think New Jeans understands that if they yank themselves out of this, the whole building can fall. So that's why New Jeans is not going to win this lawsuit. And that's why you will never see anything from New Jeans again. And I said that the first video. And I said that the second video and the third video. But I was asked why I haven't talked about it, so here I am. But that's why. The Rover. The Rover. I I mean, I don't know what else to say. Now once their contract's over, they're obviously not going to resign with Hive or Door or whatever. But uh, would another company sign them? Would they even want to be K-pop idols? Because I know X isn't real life, and you see all the comments online. There's just as much hate. Well, actually, there's more. I don't want to call it hate, but there's a lot of like, what are they doing? Why don't they just follow the contract? Like it's a lot of comments of people questioning their intelligence. There you go. So that's not hate, but because it is. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And you have to. I understand loyalty is a good quality, but when you have loyalty to a fault where you are hurting yourself, there's a problem. I don't understand what Min Hee Jin has to do with New Jeans' success. Now I understand she put the group together, but I mean, let's just be honest. She just picked the five hottest chicks she could find. It's that doesn't take any skill. I mean, I don't. And yeah, and New Jeans is giving her too much credit. She, I saw some of the girls that didn't make it in New Jeans. Okay, so either it's a big coincidence, but they just picked the five best looking girls. That's what they did. So I don't think Minhee Jin is this genius. Okay, now she's behind Red Velvet with their early concepts and like style, but okay, but what did Red Velvet have? They had they're very good looking, and how many times have I said a group is only as popular as its visual? Think about it. Think about all the biggest groups in K-pop, male and female. They all have a really popular visual. So that's kind of why looks are first in K-pop. That's why they focus so much on what a person looks like. Okay, so I know I'm going off track. You want me to talk about New Jeans, but yeah, so it's over. I don't know what else to say. The foundation of K-pop is the contract. Without the contract, you don't have investors. Without investors, you don't have idols. If the contract means nothing, what's the point of even starting a record label? What's the point of even starting a, a management company? What is the point of doing anything if there's no law? What's the point? It's that simple. Okay, I've said enough. Um, I'm not going to talk about New Jeans ever again because this is like the fourth or fifth video now. They're over. You just have to accept it. They're over. You have lots of good music from them, and trust me, you will move on because there's a lot of good groups out there that want to perform and wanna put out content. New Jeans cannot put out content for, well, they won't be doing it for at minimum the next 2 years. So let's just move on. All right, you guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.